Welcome back to the Gold News channel. My name's Kerry Stevenson, and today I'm bringing you a gold, molly, copper story from up here in Queensland. Damien Keys is the managing director of Sunshine Gold. What a great name, because it is the Sunshine Coast. Damien, great to see you. You guys have been really working hard since listing not that long ago. Brief overview of your projects and what's the news that's coming up.
Yeah, thanks, Kerry. We have been working hard. We've had we listed in December last year and hit the ground running with a significant drill program down at Triumph, our intrusion-related gold project down near Gladstone on the central Queensland coast. We had some initial drill success with numbers like 16 metres at 5.5 grams a tonne from a project called Super Hans. Big Hans, we had 4 at 27 grams a tonne. So these are really high-grade intersections and a bit of width to them as well. So we're pretty excited about that project. We stepped away to do some work on some of the other portfolio. We picked up Ravenswood West, which is a gold prospective bit of ground in the Charters Towers district. It's also prospective for copper and molybdenum and rare earth elements. So all things that are in hot demand in the market at the moment. And we've just finished our first drilling at a project called Titov, or a prospect called Titov there, where we've hit really thick intersections of highly altered, veined, and more importantly, sulfide bearing zone. So those thicknesses are about 130 metres. 100 to 130 is common in the few holes that we've drilled there so far.
Why is that? Why is it important? Why is the sulfide bit important? Sorry, for those of us that are not geos.
Yeah, so sulfide is a direct indicator of copper and molybdenum. So we could see molybdenite. It's a nice silver mineral. It was spread throughout the whole altered zone. And the copper in chalcopyrite, another sulfide, so we can visually see that we've got the metal in the hole. And now we just wait on how much of that comes back, how thick and how rich these grades are. And more significantly, these projects were initially tested in the 60s, haven't been revisited since. They were never assayed for the precious metals suite in the first assay campaign. So we're going to assay it for the periodic table. You never know what little mysteries turn up.
Do everything.
Why not? So, but yeah, we have seen rock chip sampled gold at surface. So there's no reason why the Titov prospect shouldn't contain gold, and that's certainly going to be in our assay suite. So we've already got holes at the laboratory for that.
Sorry to interrupt you. You mentioned moly. Is moly, what's it used for? What's the market like? What's the price like? Is it an important element at the moment?
It is. It's very significant. It's used in alloys in steel, certainly for high temperature applications and the like. And at the moment, moly's currently trading at about $47 a kilo. So in relative terms, things like nickel would be trading at about $20 a kilo at the moment. So we're talking a substantial byproduct, if you like, but yeah, certainly a very attractive association with the copper.
Okay, and what sort of copper? Because copper, of course, is on everybody's lips at the moment with the EV revolution, etc., and lack of supply in a lot of mines that are running down. So what are you finding on the copper side, Damien?
So historically, there was half a dozen holes drilled historically, and they hit zones that were about 100 to 130 metres, going about 0.35 to 0.4% copper, but also up to about 0.1% moly. So,
and for those that don't know, are they good numbers?
Yeah, that's certainly significant in its own right, and if we can add a bit of precious metal onto that as well, then it makes it a very attractive target. And certainly with that bulk, it's easily extractable and will be quite hopefully quite lucrative.
Well, that's what we want. So has that surprised you to the upside? And you've got more than one. What's happening with Ravenswood?
Yeah, so Titov is at Ravenswood. It's in that.
Oh, sorry.
So that's in there.
Yep.
But Titov is the first of about 5 of these copper moly centres over about 15 k's of strike in that Ravenswood package.
Okay.
So there's upside on a bigger scale. We're hitting one that all of these prospects haven't been tested since the 60s.
Wow.
And yeah, it's remarkable how underexplored Queensland is, and we're certainly letting the drill bit do the talking at the moment. So
yeah,
we'll be drilling.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say we're basically we've just embarked on a solid drill campaign that'll take us through into probably February, with plans to do further work after that. So we've just finished the Titov RC drilling. We're moving to another copper moly prospect called Keans. There were 2 historic shafts there that were gold mine shafts. But again, we're seeing visible moly in quartz veining at the surface. So there's molybdenum and copper around, and we'll be doing the first works under those shafts. So we've got shafts that haven't even been drilled under. It's all very exciting, very new. And then the rig moves from there back down to Triumph, where we'll be infilling and extending some of those initial drill results we had, with a view to releasing a maiden resource at Triumph in March.
Just remind our listeners what you've got at Triumph.
Yeah, so Triumph, we drilled 7,000 metres of RC. We had success like 16 metres at 5.5 grams from about 30 metres depth. It was at Super Hans, a prospect. These are all little individual things that we think coalesce into a bigger system. So we think we're onto what could be a large intrusion-related gold system. We drill tested another prospect adjacent to Super Hans called Big Hans. There was a historic hit of 17 metres at 4.3 grams per tonne from a metre depth. So this is basically sticking its head out of the ground. We stepped off either side and hit 4 metres at 27. So we know that these systems can be rich, decent widths, and certainly coming up to surface. So we'll be drill testing at Big Hans, Super Hans, new constitution. So we actually did a step off from the historic stuff, testing new ideas around the geochemistry, and we hit 6 metres at 13 grams a tonne.
Wow.
Out in the blue sky, and so we'll be following up on that as well. So we're really excited about the prospectivity at both Ravenswood West and down at Triumph. And then we've still got these other projects that we've been just commencing the early works in the background, and we'll continue just to tick those along and build those up to a point that we can advance, like Ravenswood and Triumph.
At Triumph, you know what I'm like, Damien? I'm a gold nerd. Triumph, those numbers, they're pretty strong, aren't they?
Yeah, certainly are. We would consider anything above 5 grams a tonne as being decent grade.
Yeah.
And certainly when you start talking about through to surface, some of this stuff is just really high grade, unbelievable. Little old workings here and there, and the area has been largely forgotten about for quite a while. So we're really excited to build on the story that we've already started to tell.
Well, I think that for me, I mean, I do like the copper and the moly as well, but for me, the Triumph story with those numbers and the grades that you're getting, that's pretty exciting. So you're going to be doing some more drilling down there with the potential to come up with a resource next year? Yeah,
that's the idea.
Okay.
So to basically infill on our success so far, and then to step off testing our ideas on this bigger coalescing system. So.
Well, I'm glad I got you on today, because there's a lot of news around Sunshine Gold, and I don't think the market has really cottoned on to exactly what you've got, especially at Triumph and also at Ravenswood. So listen, we're running out of time. I always do this. Damien, I need 3 reasons why investors should be looking at ASX code SHN Sunshine Gold right now?
All right, so point one would be the emerging Triumph resource. As we've just discussed, March 2022 is our target date for delivery on that. Following up on those really stunning hits, the 6 at 13, the 16s at 5.5 and 4 at 27s. Trying to build that bigger story, bigger picture down there. The second investment highlight would be the, I guess, the copper moly emerging story at Ravenswood West.
Yeah.
So we've already drilled Titov. We've had intersections of our own up to about 136 metres of alteration and sulphide. So mineralisation that we can see. And that's not accounting for any upside that we might get with gold and silver as well. So a really exciting story. Samples are at the lab and we should be expecting the first ones back in the next week to week and a half. And I guess the third point is we've just completed a capital raise, so we're now fully funded, ready to deliver on all these exciting projects and all this drilling. We've got 5 mil just raised. The directors have chipped in, so we believe our own story. We're committed, and we're really excited about what Sunshine's got in store.
Well, I'm really pleased you came on, and thank you for mentioning that the directors have got skin in the game, because I always say to people, if the directors are putting their money where their mouth is, they're going to make sure that well, it's not a given, but it's nice to see that you're also involved like the shareholders are, and the drill bits going into the ground. Damien, you'll be joining us at the Australian Gold Conference in February. Fingers crossed, borders are all open and everything's happening, but I wish you all the best with the drilling, and we'll look forward to that resource update early next year. Thanks for joining me on the Gold News Channel.
Thanks, Kerry. Thanks for your time.